This story is called Lucy and Tom Go to School. Lucy and Tom were two little children who were not yet old enough to go to school. When it was fine, they played in the garden. They liked to look over the gate and see what was happening in the street. Often Lucy would get out her dolls and have a pretend school. Lucy was the teacher, and if Tom was in a good mood, he would be one of the class. But sometimes, especially when it rained, Lucy was bored. She was tired of playing with Tom, and she was tired of her toys. Her mother said that as she was nearly 5, she would soon be going to a real school. Lucy had her school things ready. She had a new grey skirt, a pair of brown shoes, a pencil case and a satchel. Tom wished that he had a satchel too. Lucy and Tom knew where the school was. They had seen the boys and girls going in, and they heard them shouting at playtime. On the first day of school, Lucy held her mother's hand very tightly. In the school playground, there were a great many children waiting to go in. They saw Lucy's friend Jane, and she was peeping out from behind her mother and holding on to her coat. In the cloakroom, Mum helped Lucy to find her peg and hang up her jacket. Lucy's peg had her name on it and a picture of a teddy just above it. In the classroom was a smiling teacher. She was writing down names. She said, "Hello, Lucy." "Hello, Jane." And she was called Miss Walker. The classroom was full of children and a great many interesting things to look at. There was a little shop with pretend money. And Lucy and Jane started to play in the shop with 3 other little girls. The mothers watched for a while, and when it was time for them to go and get on with their shopping, Jane did not want them to leave. Lucy's mother gave her a hug and said, "See you at dinner time. Look after Jane, won't you?" Lucy wasn't feeling especially brave, but she took Jane's hand anyway. And Tom yelled on the way out because he wanted to go to school too. At playtime, Lucy had some milk with a straw. And the playground was very noisy. Some children were playing games, some were fighting, and some were chasing about, and some were walking with their arms around each other. Jane had an apple. She gave Lucy a bite, and they had a quiet game in a corner. After playtime, Miss Walker read a story. They thought she was a very nice teacher indeed. And later, Lucy sorted some shells and coloured a picture. "What did you do this morning, I'm a schoolgirl?" Lucy asked Tom at dinner time when she went home. Tom had done some colouring too. Lucy's best thing at school was music and movement. She liked pretending to be a tiny mouse and then growing into a huge giant. And she liked it when they dressed up and acted their stories. She liked assembly too, because of the hymn singing. Lucy's worst thing at school was a boy called Neil Bailey, who kept pushing her around in the playground. Some days Lucy looked forward to going to school, and some days she didn't want to go very much. But she soon got used to it. Now Tom was bored at home. He missed Lucy, and she was often too tired to play with him when she came home from school. And he followed Mum about, wanting something to do. Mum said that Tom could join a playgroup in the mornings, and she bought him a satchel, just like Lucy's. He put into it some pencils and cards and his old teddy. At the playgroup, Tom painted and sang and played with toys and clay, and there were plenty of boys and girls there to be his friends. Tom liked the playgroup so much that he ran ahead of Mum every morning to get there first. Now Tom was a schoolboy too.